All right, so let's talk about what are the supreme cancer-fighting foods. Berries. The blackberries, your blueberries, your strawberries, but not as much as your blackberries and blueberries. These contain high levels of antioxidants, specifically those polyphenols. They may reduce damage to cells and help repair cells. So this is a great food, especially if you are at risk or if you're overcoming skin, bladder, lung, breast, and esophagus cancers. When I do my top 7 superfoods, blueberries falls on it. It's something that we really need to be consuming on a regular basis. Even finding with blueberries it will help reduce brain plaque, where it will reduce your risk of dementia and Alzheimer's in old age. So a great superfood. Grapes. These really need to be organic. Grapes come in as one of the dirtiest. If you're going to eat grapes to fight risk of cancer, but your pesticides are one of your leading carcinogens, you don't want to cancel yourself out, in the same cup full of fruit. So you definitely want it to be organic, and if not organic, local. So you see a lot of grapes imported from Chile. You'll see a lot of food imported from Mexico. So buying USA is still going to be your better choice. At least you're not getting those illegal pesticides, those really, really bad boys. Okay, the reason why grapes, again, your purple and your red and your purple are going to be more, have more power punch to them than your green. It's an antioxidant called resveratrol. And again, the research is saying that it may inhibit the growth of tumors. This is great food for stomach, liver, breast, and colon cancers. So again, if you have a history in your family, or if you're trying to overcome that, this is a great food. Now, resveratrol can be found in a supplement. So it is one where they're extracting that particular antioxidant and they are putting it in a supplement. Tomatoes. The particular antioxidant that's very cancer-fighting is called lycopene. This came on the scene a few years ago where everybody was talking about lycopene. It may kill cells in the body that are not growing correctly. Again, those abnormal cells are what we really want to avoid. Lycopene may also absorb harmful UV light, so it's a great food in the prevention of skin cancer. Great food for lung, breast, prostate, mouth, and skin cancers. This is one of them that they're also now putting in a supplement, lycopene. Broccoli. Broccoli is absolutely a superfood. Everybody should have this in their shopping cart every week. Blueberries, broccoli, just put it in there. Contains an antioxidant called indole-3 carbinol. It may inhibit the growth of cancer cells as well. This was one of the coolest statistics I read, that a pound of broccoli once to twice a week may reduce your risk of cancer by 50%. I thought that was amazing. It's again, we can get caught up in all the things that are cancer-causing carcinogens, but if we really focus on how to put the body in the best place where it can protect itself, I really think that that's a much more positive place to be. It's a great food for mouth, throat, stomach, breast, and skin cancers.
Does the broccoli lose some of its effectiveness depending how it's if it's?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. So if you have thyroid issues, you definitely want to steam it because it does promote goiters in the body. So ladies out there, that's a growing stress condition. So, but also lightly steaming it makes some of the nutrients more accessible. So it is one of those foods where lightly steaming it is going to have a better benefit all the way around. I also recommend that when you lightly steam something, save that water to use in soups. You're going to pull some of the nutrients out, your water, so use purified water when you steam, put it in some ice trays, freeze it, and you can pop it into soups so you don't lose any of your nutrients that way. That was a good question. Garlic contains an antioxidant called allyl sulfides, and this may also reduce the growth of cancer in the body. Will also help eliminate infectious agents in the colon that would have reduced your immune function, and that also further contribute to colon cancer. So this is a great food. if you're at risk for or suffering from lung, colon, breast, stomach, and cancers of the esophagus. This can also be found in a supplement. Now, a word of caution, garlic, the research says this is as powerful as a statin. So if you are on any kind of high blood pressure medication, cholesterol reducing medication, you want to check with your doctor or your pharmacist if you decide to do a garlic supplement.
Put a clove.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, it's a quarter cup to a half a cup of blueberries every other day. You know, if you eat the stalk of the broccoli, you're going to get to a pound very quickly. You know, I mean, it's really not as overwhelming as everybody thinks. It's just sitting down and going, okay, well, I just need to make a conscious effort to put these in. And, yeah, so it's not like you have to walk around smelling like a garlic bowl to be cancer fighting. Green tea, a lot of talk about green tea in the past 5 years. It's an antioxidant called catechins, may help stop cancer in the body and reduce the size of tumors. And suggested use for green tea medicinally is 1 to 2 cups daily. Great food for pancreas, stomach, bladder, skin, lung, prostate, colon, liver, and breast cancer. This is a great food source and can also be found in supplements. But if you're really looking for a really high quality, more along the medicinal lines, then I would go with a Tazo or traditional medicinals, a Yogi tea, some of those brands that really conscious of. And you want to steep for 15 minutes. Just dunking it for 1 or 2 minutes if you're really going to use tea, again, in the quote, medicinal manner, you want to steep for 15 minutes. Flaxseed. This is found in oils, a cold pressed oil, or in seeds. It contains an antioxidant called lignans, which may reduce carcinogens in the body. So this is I find this really interesting compared to the other foods we've been talking about. The other foods are going to eliminate or halt abnormal cell growth or may shrink the size of tumors, but this one's actually going to reduce the carcinogens, this kind going after the risk. So it's going to improve immune system function as well. It's a great food for colon, breast, skin, and lung cancer. This can be found in supplement form as well. We're going to touch upon how to really make sure your supplements are doing what you think they're doing.
So like how much flaxseed?
It's a teaspoon for an adult, probably anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon for a child. But it's typically a teaspoon for every 100 pounds, once a day. You know, the oil cannot be heated. It has a very distinct taste, so you could drizzle that teaspoon over a salad if you like it. You could throw it into a smoothie. I prefer the seeds. I make a homemade granola and I just put it in there. Or I'll throw it into, some kind of muffin, so I just prefer the seeds. Make a nice flax cracker. It's a gluten-free cracker that's really easy to make. So, but if you like the oil, it works just fine. Lentils, kind of an unsung hero here, contains a phytochemical called saponin, which may slow the reproduction of cancer cell. Great for stomach and colon cancer. Lentils are the only legume that is an alkaline legume. Really, really powerful. I like the yellow and the red lentils. You'll see yellow lentils used more in Indian cuisine. It's called a dal, D-A-H-L. But I find it has just a sweeter taste to it. It cooks much faster. I don't care for the green ones. I find they're a little on the gray side and they take a really long time to cook and they're not real flavorful. So if lentils, you see lentils, I'll just do the blueberries. There is some really good lentils out there. Spinach and kale, the dark leafy greens, again, the darker, that rich pigment in the food is really going to protect us from a lot of things. It's not just cancers. Spinach is a superfood. Contains antioxidant called carotenoids. This may help control cancer growth. It's also high in folate, and folate helps protect the DNA. It's a great food for breast, skin, lung, stomach, and mouth cancers.
Does it matter if the spinach is cooked or raw? Is there
It doesn't on that. You're gonna get just as much nutrients out of it. You know, be really careful for overcooking your spinach. It's really easy to just, you know, it will wilt very quickly. It doesn't take much. In fact, often, you know, sometimes I'll do something like grill or saute fish, for example, and I will lay it over a bed of spinach just to do something different with it. And the minute the hot fish hits the spinach, it wilts it. So you kind of have a cooked spinach without really breaking it down, and you don't lose any of the nutrients.
how much would you recommend eating?
Your serving is going to be a cup of raw or a half cup of cooked, and you want to do that at least once a week. You know, your greens, you should do some green every day. You know, make the commitment to go green, you know, on your plate, whether it's romaine lettuce or a red leaf lettuce or a spinach or a kale or an arugula. Just do something, have green, have your leafy greens at least once a day. Cinnamon. We're going to hear a lot more about cinnamon in the next couple of years. This is up and coming. And they're just finding this to be a superfood and just have a lot of magical properties to it. In recent studies, cinnamon was found to interfere with the protein that helps tumors develop blood supply. I just thought that that was a really incredible study. Half a teaspoon daily is a recommended dose. If you're looking concerned, you can get into a full teaspoon. Combined with a tablespoon of raw honey, the Manuka honey is now being found to be the most beneficial. It may reduce your blood sugar, so if you're, you know, if you're measuring your glucose levels, if you have to record your sugar, you just want to be really cognizant of the fact that you may start interfering with your sugar levels. If you're on medication for diabetes, you might want to check with your doctor if you're going to do high doses of cinnamon. But you know, half a teaspoon in your oatmeal or in a smoothie or somewhere like that. Fennel. Fennel is rich in phytochemicals and antioxidants. It restricts the activity of cancer cell in the body, and it may suppress the enzyme activity of cancer cells when it multiplies. This can also be found in supplements. Fennel is usually found as a seed if you're buying it as a food. And you typically can make a tea out of it. You take a teaspoon of fennel seeds and again steep it for 15 minutes in some hot water, some really good clean water, and drink that. It's got kind of a licorice, kind of a sweet taste to it. Great digestive aid, really rich in those phytochemicals. Some of those phytochemicals are phytoestrogen, so women that are in perimenopause and menopause will get a real benefit out of fennel. Anyone that suffers from PMS, any hormone irregularities may get some benefit from fennel. Fennel is also really great if you're a nursing mom. It's going to increase milk supply for breastfeeding moms, so it's great food. Curcumin, this is also gaining a lot of great press. Contains a polyphenol. It is a polyphenol, found